doesn't mean the same thing because we have the jabs, the booster, and the
And actually,
vax.
I do stand corrected. The car score in its current version, I believe, does factor in hospitalizations.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Mayor Jesse Ailg joins us in the KUAM News Link Zoom room. Good morning, Mayor. Happy Monday.
Half a day. Good morning.
So
Been a
excited.
while.
I know it has been a while. Just really excited for you guys because we saw that press release out of the Office of the Governor of Guam that you guys have received a 17 point million, 17 point, was it 17.9 million or something?
Yeah, well, that's what they're going to give us, correct?
Wait a
Um,
second. Hold on. So you have not received the money yet?
no. So last week, 2 weeks ago, I met with officials regarding the ARPA money that was coming to us, and we were informed that we were going to receive 8 million the following week, which was last week. But we needed to submit a little memo as to how that money was going to be dispersed. And so at our regular council meeting, that was discussed, and I requested for council approval on how that was going to, be further dispersed, even though the wish list was already submitted to the governor. And then on Friday, we had to recess that meeting, and we reconvened on Friday to discuss further about the 8 million disbursement, and it was really only to vote on how we were going to spend the 800,000 for the villages. And so now that is done, we've submitted all that information to BBMR, and now we're waiting for the 8 million to get loaded into our accounts. So we do know that accounts have been established, meaning it's ready to go. Now that they received the memo from us, hopefully we'll get that loaded this week. So that's what it is.
I'm just looking up the release.
Yeah, so they did say that we're going to get 17 millions. I forgot 17 point something, but it was told to us that I believe 8.3 was going to be released to us last week. Of that, 200,000 is to pay for COVID differential pay, and then the rest were for the heavy equipment, the vehicles, a cleanup program, and several other things, including a little cash to cover our shortfall for 21. So to be clear, that $800,000 that was divided among the villages was to really help us with the shortfall that we experienced in 21. And then, of course, we talk about how it was divided, how we voted, and how the division is equal for this particular amount and for this disbursement. And for the most part, obviously it was majority, right, by one. But we do know that in fiscal 22, the villages received their money through their budgets based on what we feel is a more equitable distribution, which is by the road mileage inventory. And so we've been looking for a way to make it so that the larger villages get more money than the smaller villages. And so we made that possible in fiscal 22, and we've talked about it for many, many, many years. And you've covered it, you've talked about it, many others have. And it was a hard pill to swallow, because why would you vote for something that was going to give you less money? But in the end, it was equitable, regardless of how we feel, right? And then the road mileage inventory is probably the best, and we felt it was the best simply because our main job, one of our main priorities, is to maintain these roads, these secondary and tertiary roads. And so it only makes sense to give us the money to maintain these roads. Because there's always the question about why not do it by population. So we talked about all these options. Other than population, road inventory, there are other options that were on the table. But we felt that, for the most part, this was the best way to divide that money. Now, not everybody agrees, but it was still, it's a democracy, right?
Yeah. So who were the main opposition voices, Mayor Ailg?
Well, in the for fiscal 22, the fiscal 22 budget, I mean, it's not news to anybody, and it's not anything that's hidden. It's very public and clear that we do have a colleague that is against everything we've done for fiscal 22, and um, we have not, in our defense, and I say our because the council and as the majority, we have, our meetings are public, number one. We've never discussed anything behind closed doors regarding our budget. And we had a public hearing on it. The senator had the public hearing. I mean, it's on the legislative channel on YouTube. So I mean, it's out there, right? And it was at that time that I think we needed to make those changes if it was necessary. Regardless of that, still the majority prevailed, and that's what we have for fiscal 22. Yeah. And so when you talk about the distribution of this money, of course, there's a lot of, there's contention that, again, it was unequal, or perhaps even a disservice, if that's what they want to call it. But I'll speak on behalf of the PD mayor's office and my village. I'm going to look for what's going to give us the most money, especially if it's a one-time handout.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. So that's plain and simple, I think, on that end.
So, okay, so let me backtrack here. The Office of the Governor came out of the release that they were going to give the Mayor's Council 17 point something million. That is not accurate as of now. You guys are getting 8 million, but have you got it? Is it in the bank yet?
No. Not as of Friday, and it's not 8:00 yet. So I don't believe it is. Yeah, no, it's not.
And so you guys had to come up with a spending plan for this 8 million?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah.
And what is this? Give us an idea, Mayor. What are some of the things that this 8 million is going to go for?
Yeah. So the 8 million again is for our heavy equipment that we're going to use by region. So we're going to purchase sets of heavy equipment for the north, the south, and the central. We're certainly going to need to hire heavy equipment operators because most of us don't employ heavy equipment operators. I mean, the salaries for a community maintenance worker is not it's not commensurate to the heavy equipment operator. So that's one. The senior centers are going to open, and we need to continually maintain them, sanitize them. So we will ensure that we have maintenance workers for the senior centers. That's top on the list. And we're also purchasing additional vehicles for the villages. Most of us operate with secondhand vehicles and vehicles that are just ready to kind of conk out on us. And so we're all purchasing. We're going to have one vehicle per village. Then, of course, it provides money for a island-wide cleanup program. And I believe that this money complements what we're going to receive from the recycling revolving fund, because the recycling revolving fund will give us 1.5 million, and that's for recyclables. But there's other trash that need to get disposed that we can't get rid of using that money. So I believe it's a good, complementing benefit to the council. I think with all of this news, I think one of the things that I certainly want to do with my colleagues is impress upon them that everybody is watching how we use this money, and because this money is it is a one-time benefit to our communities, I really feel that spending it wisely and making a difference in the community is important. And so I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks, we'll have a good idea of how this money will change our island community for the better. I say that because we'll have more conversations as to how this money is going to be applied in the communities. It's not a direct aid to people, but it's certainly to our communities, to our villages, to our roads. And just to make Guam a more beautiful place.
Right. I just got to ask this one, Mayor, because it's a mayor's council. You've got, how many different mayors, different mayors' offices, but the accounting of the money, right, and the spending of it. Are you confident that you guys are going to be able to do that prudently and following all the, little procurement hoops and all that stuff?
Yeah, I believe we will. I'm confident in our certifying officer. I'm confident and that's kind of one of the reasons why things are a little slow as they are, is because between our certifying officer and our administrative assistant, I think they work tirelessly to make sure that, all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And to the dismay of some mayors, I think, because it's so slow that they get aggravated about the process. But I believe we will be able to be accountable, or we will be accountable for this money that is received, and we'll be willing to report it out.
Is this the single biggest cash infusion that the mayor's council has had?
Yes, I believe in my time at the council. Yes, I believe it is. Yeah.
And what about the balance? So you guys are getting the 8 mil. They said they were going to give you 17 point something million. That means there's a balance of 9 some mil left.
Well, it's 8 million. It's because it's
so is it 17 point whatever million, or is it 8 million?
17.
Okay.
17 million.
But you're getting the 8 million first.
So it's 8.3. Oh yeah, it's like 8. We've talked about this so many times. I don't even know what the number
mostly
is.
Sabrina. I'm usually on the side drinking my coffee, and Bree's got this whole thing. So, excuse me, Mayor. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's 8 million, 8 point something million, and the total is 17 point something million.
So what about the other 9? That's what I'm saying.
So that other the other half, I believe, is coming in the next year, and that's okay. It's okay for us because we can't. We're not able to spend all that money at one time because of the procurement process. So we're not crying about that. We're just a lot more grateful now that it seems more of a reality these days that the money is here. So, yeah.
But it's not technically here, because I know they come out with a release, and in our mind, in the public's mind, you think, oh, they have the money, but they come out with a release saying they give you the money, but you actually don't have it yet.
Yeah, that's correct.
And I think that's similar with education stabilization funds. They announced, this was back in August, they announced that, we gave all these nonprofits and then even the mayors, right? So what is the status with that? Have you guys got any of your ESF money?
No, I know there was a little little training last week regarding the use of that money. I was not able to attend it, but I did have staff attend that. And so I'm just assuming that it's one step closer. I feel bad because this is probably the second time that I said it to you guys, but it's like when we first got it, I kept on pushing it like, hey guys, look, this is what we got. And you guys were like, oh yeah, whatever. Let's move on to the next subject. And then finally it was like, oh, hey, what about that money? And I'm thinking, well, we don't got it.
I mean, how do you come out of the release in August saying you gave all this money to people, and then come January, it's like they haven't gotten anything? That's just weird. Maybe they're worried about someone stealing the thunder. I don't know. Mayor?
Well.
What about the COVID pay? So I was talking with one of the staffers, I forget which office, but they were saying that you guys got some COVID pay, but it wasn't all the way current. So just once and for all, where are we with the COVID differential pay, and how far are we from coming current in paying the staffers this?
I don't believe we're going to be too far to actually pay them in full. I know that the money is there. We just need to, the documentation on our part is on our side is definitely at DOA. So it's just a matter of getting it out. I should have gotten the date, but I don't have it. I believe they were paid from August to October.
Right.
I think that's what it was.
Okay.
And so the remaining balance should be paid. Again, I don't like to say it on air because I don't like to give everyone high hopes, but it shouldn't be too much longer. Right on. Now that we know we have that money. So
the foster family program that you guys were doing for Christmas, that's been extended till May. Was it because you guys didn't reach the goal? Or what was the reason there, Mayor?
No, we actually, even in November when we discussed it, we thought it was best to extend it through May for foster care month, simply because we just, we like the idea that this campaign continues. It was reported out by Vice Mayor Kevin Delgado at our meeting that public health received 15 new families. So that, we're very grateful for that. And regardless of whether or not they came directly from the Mayor's Council of Guam, we still feel that our campaign was helpful in bringing about awareness for the need for foster families. And so we'll continue to do that. We do have another set of activities and campaign materials for February that we'll be coming out with, and hopefully, we'll attract more families. We do have another meeting set for this month, and we'll announce that. I know the date was already given, but I don't have the date. But I know it's in January. But we're still encouraging families and interested residents, individuals, to call your mayor's office to find out more about these informational meetings. And if you want to sign up for them, we certainly can connect you. And we're very grateful that many have attended those meetings just to kind of hear what it's all about, right? The good and the bad, and and the
What are
really
you hearing,
good stuff.
Mayor? Because I've heard that some people loved it, others didn't have any idea what they were getting into.
Well, and that's the thing is, if it's good that they check it out, because it might really not be for them, right? And so that's kind of the purpose of this. I haven't heard of any. I have heard of some issues about getting in contact with some officials. But if anyone is having issues, please, call my office as well, and we can connect you, because on our end, I have not had any issues contacting anyone from Public Health or Harvest House. So, whatever the situation may be, we're always willing to help get you connected. And again, it's not for everyone, right? And, come and check it out. And if you like it, you can learn more. If you want to help in other ways, of course, the foster care system is in need of many other things. And that's the discussion that you can have at these meetings, for sure. So, yeah, we're still encouraging everyone to come out and listen if it moves you.
Right. Senior Center delay of opening. Were you excited that this was finally going to happen, only to have it yet again pushed back by developments with the pandemic?
Yeah, I was excited about it. I was one of them that was really excited about it and really pushing forward to open up and get everything situated for our Manamco. But of course, we're not the professionals in this pandemic, and we don't have the expertise, and we certainly don't have the services to take care of any resident or Manamco that gets sick while they're in our care. So whatever the recommendation is from the public health side, we're certainly going to heed. And that was the recommendation by public health was to postpone, simply because of the increased numbers of COVID cases. And we all saw that, we all see it. And I haven't heard of any major issues or any big complaints about it. I think most of us are kind of, in this mindset of, well, it is what it is, right? It happens. And unfortunately, that's the game we got to play in these times. And so I'm grateful for all the help that everyone has put toward making sure that we could open. But at the same time, we want to be cautious, and we want to make sure that our Manamco are safe. And so it's January 10th. We should have opened today, or we should be opening today, but we're not. Everyone receiving the home meals like they did in the last year will continue to receive the home meals from the mayor's offices and the Division of Senior Citizens without any interruption. And if there are any issues, please call your senior center or your mayor's office to find out, what the issues might be. But everything can get resolved if we just, communicate with one another. So hopefully there aren't any issues today about the food, about the meals.
I hope not. Mayor, so what is your village saying? Like, what's the feeling with this latest surge with the Omicron?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not hearing a lot from residents about Omicron and about the surge. And like I said, I think a lot of people are already kind of in that mindset of just being prepared, being cautious. I still see people, I see people on both ends. Some that just want to party and others that are wanting to be safe. So grateful for both, really, because I think that provides a balance. But I think we just need to make sure that everyone does it safely.
Any other updates, Mayor? I feel like I'm forgetting about something.
You know what? I don't know. I don't think there are any other updates. I think we're okay. But you can call me anytime.
Hold on, just give me a second here. Jam, am I forgetting something?
No, I think we covered the money first of all.
Yeah, the money. Any update with stray animals?
I was just about to say dogs.
It's always a good one.
Is the number down, Mayor, from 60,000? Do you know?
I have no idea what our number is. I just know that.
What's the status with the shelter? Is there some frustration there, Mayor?
Oh yeah. There's definitely frustration on that, and because we're not really in the position to. We're not even supposed to pick up the dogs, but we do, and so we have these dogs, and we have, and it's like, and I'm not. I know last week I got all these calls about, oh, Mayor, why are you talking about, so and so? I'm not talking about anybody. I'm just saying that if we pick up a dog and it's stray, or if it's a dog that was trapped, we should be able to properly place this dog, shelter the dog. And the shelter is not at the mayor's office, right? And so that's just what happens is, if you don't want me to talk about anybody, okay. So we pick up the dog. If we can't turn it into the animal shelter, we have to keep it at the office. And what do we do with it? We have to feed it. We have to, make sure it's in a clean space. We need to make sure it has a roof and it's sheltered properly.
You need to make sure it has a roof.
Yeah, exactly. And so who's going to pay for the food? It's not only the mayor, our staff pay for the dog food, because like one mayor said, well, we don't have our manamco eat their food. They don't just leave the food there so we can feed the stray dogs that we keep. So it's like, it's come to a point where, okay, everyone's just blaming each other. But you know what? There's money somewhere. And that's where, I'll have to have more conversations with Mayor Paco on this, because there's money somewhere that needs to get someplace. And it's not, we don't know if it's at game. We don't know if it's at any other animal shelter. If there is another animal shelter, we just need to make sure that we have space to turn in these dogs, because, the spaying and the neutering program, we're all on board. We're fine with it. We want to do it, but where is it? It's still, it's over a year. We talked about this before the pandemic. We talked about this 10 years ago. And so it's like, we're still at the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's frustrating because we got this money that, we can use for all these things, but clearly there's a struggle in getting the money from the bank to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, elections. Any update on elections? It's an election year.
No, well, it's not the mayoral election year, so
Yeah,
so we'll sit back and watch.
Are there any like tours coming up with election commission to get down to the villages, the polling sites?
There are actually, well, not. I'm hoping to get Maria Pangilinan in at our next meeting to talk about something else, about another issue that we might be having with elections. But
what issue, Mayor?
Homeless verifications and homeless. Those that are, those that are homeless and need an address. So we have not yet. We haven't come to that conclusion as to how we're going to resolve that issue. But I guess it's not even a funny matter. It's crazy that we're talking about that and how there's that many that warrant a conversation of the mayor's council. So yeah, that's something that we need to discuss.
We did have something in our comments here. You should check the testing line at Tizen. There's a government vehicle in the line. Yeah. I don't know. Do we have a problem with that? They got to get tested. Maybe they had a close contact or something. What do you think of that, though, Mayor? Because it's appointment only now, or they're doing limited drive up, but they're really trying to push this appointment process. How do you think that's going to go over with our people? I feel like they were used to just showing up to get tested.
I don't. All I know is that public health's not going to turn anyone away.
Right.
Right. So I'm going to keep it at that. Using government resources to get tested. Of course, there's always two sides to the story, right? So we just need to figure out what's going on. I mean, is it the best possible scenario? Of course not. I mean, it just looks bad, right? Optics. But again, there's two sides to every story, so I'm not sure what's going on that end.
Are you hearing about a lot of positives in GovGuam agencies? I am.
I'm hearing it, yes, but I don't know where.
No.
I just hear that they're GovGuam workers, but I don't know exactly what agency.
Right, and I wonder how they're doing the reporting of that, because it kind of seems like it was something they would really report earlier in the pandemic, right?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, Mayor.
And have you heard about is the mayor of Jonia recovering well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Jake.
Yeah.
Oh,
He is, yeah.
Yep. Any other mayor's offices?
Prayers for Mayor Bill, obviously.
Any other mayor's offices closed down?
No, not that I'm aware.
Okay. And then, so any timeline on the Jotnia mayor's office reopening?
You know what? I think they're open. I believe they're going to be open. Hang on a moment.
Yeah, because they came out with a new guidance. If you're a mayor who tests positive, you still have to work.
Shame on you, Chris, for not knowing everything that's going on with your beloved village of Jotnia.
I'm just kidding.
Mayor's office is open. The mayor's office will be open today.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, too. Have a good week.
You too, sir. All right, Mayor Jesse Ailg, the president of the Mayor's Council of Guam. There you go. Jotnia mayor's office is open.
So as far as you were saying, do we know